for like 3 or 4 days. It was kind of just a subtle on the ride home moment where it just dawned on me. And I said, wow, okay, this is it. I'm gonna die. This is it. This is what's gonna kill me. But it wasn't enough to scare me into quitting. When I was 13, I got into bands. I started playing music. When I was 16 or 17, I was the house band for a dive bar. That's when I started kind of turning to cigarettes, which went to alcohol, and just escalated to smoking marijuana, to selling marijuana. You would end up in places where somebody would be like, hey, smoke that with me and I'll share this with you. Next thing you know, you're in a room and you're doing a drug that you've never done before. Then it just became who I am to me. You know, it just became what I do. But the day that somebody said, hey, try this, and it was crystal meth, that was all she wrote. I was like, this, I love this. It made you feel good, made everything seem fun and exciting. It made everything seem like it was okay, even though you knew it wasn't. It took over, aggressively took over. I stopped caring about music. I stopped caring about things that really meant a lot to me. You know, people would come up and say to me, man, you are like skin and bones. What's going on? And I weighed 100 to under 100 pounds. I was literally a walking skeleton. If there was ever a point where I was not high and I had any moment of clarity about my life, what was going on, it was horrifying. And I just instantly and quickly wanted to go get high again. Because with the drug, you just start deteriorating. And you don't even realize it until you look up and you're like, what happened? Everything is dark. Everything is falling apart around me, but I can't stop doing this. It was kind of just a subtle moment where it just dawned on me. And I said, wow, okay, this is it. I'm gonna die. This is it. This is what's gonna kill me. My sister was intensely burdened to pray for me through just, I think, a great deal of prayer. My brother-in-law came to me and gave me this book called The Case for Christ by Lee Strobel. And I accepted it. I don't even know why. It was like, 3 in the morning. I was reading this book, and even in this dark spot as I was reading it, and I just felt, the truth, I just felt the presence of God in the room. The false joy and happiness that I was trying to feel for all those years on crystal meth, I felt that night in the presence of God. And in that moment, I said, okay, God, if you're real, and I believe you're real, I'm gonna go as far as to say, let's say you're real, Jesus is real, I will give you my entire life, I will stop everything, but I don't know how. I don't know how to quit all this. This is all I've ever been. I can't imagine me apart from it. I don't know how I'm gonna do it. In a thought that was more powerful than words, I felt him say to me, you don't have to, I will. I just knew, I was like, he's gonna do this. This is real. He can really save me. This is gonna happen. I just knew that I knew. And I quit everything overnight. What had been a drive to find my next high had now become a drive for God. I just wanted to meet him again. I wanted to keep going after him. I started wanting to express myself and this joy and this thing that I'm realizing, the ability, the gift, the love for music, he brought it back and started allowing me to write music again. Today I get to write music full-time, Christian music, worship music full-time. I get to lead worship, itinerary worship leader, traveling around all the time. What's amazing with that is just like, only God could have done that. I can take no credit for any. It's the Zephaniah 3:17 God, which has become kind of my life verse, is that the Lord your God is with you. He's mighty to save. He delights in you greatly. He quiets you with his love, and he rejoices over you with singing. And in that night in that room, I realized that God was able to pull me out of the wreckage. This God, the God who saves, so when I read that line that says, he rejoices over you with singing, that he sings over me as a musician, is so powerful to me. There's no such thing as too far for God.